organization became such a fad, right? Like from a business standpoint, could not have started this at a better time. Oh my gosh, which is amazing. But
like
then
Netflix is doing like what's the
exactly.
the Japanese show?
Yes, Mari Kondo really started it all with Spark Joy, and the fact
Spark
that it was
Joy, yep.
becoming a more marketable type of career boded well for me. Like everything like that was free marketing for me, which was great. And then it was a lot of like, oh, I didn't know that this existed. And that's what's so cool about our clients. It's not like, oh yeah, I've experienced other organizers over the past couple years. It's usually this whole brand new experience. Like you've not had people come in and just like go through all your stuff like that. And it's unique and it's awesome. But that being said, what was my point? What am I talking about?
We were just talking about how with Paris Hilton's, pantry, you took the Marilyn
about
Monroe.
the experience.
No, and I just think, I think that maybe like there's a tip there for the audience, which is like, don't sleep on things that are really special.
Yes,
make them like a highlight.
Thank you. That's exactly where I was going, was that there was this whole push for minimalism. I want nothing on my counters. I mean, I've even had clients that are like, I want it to look like no one lives here. To where people became so obsessed with getting rid of things, they were forgetting about what those things were. And I've always said, like, when we go in, like, RíOrganize, we're not going in caring how much you get rid of. We're not wanting you to get rid of a ton. We're not forcing you to. I want you to basically be reintroduced to what you have. Why do you have it? How do you use it? What does it mean to you? And when you know your inventory, like there's no more like, I have no clue what the hell's up there. Like, yeah, that closet, yeah, who knows? When you eliminate that and you know everything you have, one, it gives you a new appreciation to yourself. Two, it's kind of like this really cool, revisit to all these times in your life of when you collected these items. Like your things are kind of what make up who you are. Like every day you get, like you grab that shirt today, you grab that sweatshirt. Like these are all that's making you, you and you, you. And I feel like people forget about that. And so to be able to celebrate this collection of you, that's kind of been the new direction that I've been taking in people's homes and, in their closets. Like some people, like whatever their collections are that they feel really excited about, let's showcase it. Let's make you excited about what you have, or else why do you have it?
I think it's really important to discuss how you don't just do celebrities and influencers' homes. You also do anyone's.
We do the normal people
too. You do anyone's home. Is there some little tips that you could give to our audience that you do when you do someone's home that you think makes such a difference? For instance, like doing a spice drawer is like amazing. Is there anything else like that?
So something like a spice drawer is a very clear beginning to end project that you can not be super overwhelmed by, right? You empty all of your spices, figure out what's expired, restock what you need to. If you're wanting to get custom labels, I mean, that's something to where maybe it's $100, maybe it's $75, and then you don't have to think about it ever again. And you're just, restocking this collection that's going to look really pretty displayed. And I think a project like that, or, switching out your hangers to be all uniform, those are really easy things to do that instantly give your space a facelift, or give your space a facelift.
When Michael first met me, his hangers were a collection of the dry cleaners, random plastic hangers that he got from like his blazer that he purchased in 2000, and then like a couple velvet ones, and then some from his parents' house. Standard. And I was like, I just can't. Like
that's like everyone's closet, though.
Oh my God.
And there are some people that's like, I mean, I've been in some of the nicest homes, and it's like non-negotiable, these white plastic hangers.
No, we gotta go. We gotta get all cohesive hangers.
Well, I think there's I think there's two sides of this. There's the superficial side, which is like you want things to aesthetically be pleasing and look good, and I think like a lot of people get fired up about that. And then there's the people that'll push back, like I don't care what it looks like. But what I would say from what organization does, like say you don't care about the aesthetic, and you're just like whatever, I want function. What I appreciate about what you do and what I learned after you did it was how chaotic the environment I was living in was compared to what it was after. And once it was cleaned up and organized, I found like there was a lot of friction in my life that went away. It's like, okay, this is where this goes. It's like, and I don't think people think about that a lot. It's like, when you go to someone's office and there's just like papers and shit everywhere, it's like, there's something to be said. Like it's a chaotic environment. It's hard to function in that. Right. And I think in the home, you don't realize like over time, you spend so much time in these places that over time become more and more chaotic and dysfunctional and messy.
It's almost like subconscious. You don't realize how much it's affecting you. Even something as silly as like looking for your tweezers in the morning. Yeah. Like let's say you lose 3 minutes because you can't find those. Well, 3 minutes times when you couldn't find the socks you wanted. Like when you add all that up, I mean, it's insane how much time you get back.
It's like what Lauren was saying, like that Kobe Bryant story, and why it's important is like you look at a high performer like that, like who he was, and you're like, okay, this person is so focused on greatness in other areas of their life. And if they're coming home and they're like feeling like they're in a chaotic environment or like there's a friction, an environment there's a ton of friction, like
Yes.
that's going to affect them maybe not as much as you think, but subconsciously, right? And so as soon as you clean up that environment, someone like that's like, oh shit, I didn't realize how much this was either slowing me down or dragging me down or wasting
Right.
time,
Like
right?
it's you get so used to a way that you were living, and I think we worked for either 4 or 5 billionaires at this point. And what's blown my mind has been like, it does not matter how much money you have, how much fame you have, how much staff you have. That does not equal organization. Like, there are certain areas that, yeah, are being like upkept, but that doesn't mean that that person has taken the time to go through their things. And for me to know some of these people's homes that I'm in, and I'm like, if I just gave them one more minute to just kick major ass in life like they do, that's insane. Like,
well, why
I
you're
just
so
played
smart
part
is
in
you're
their
selling
success.
time. You're selling
I
time.
remember you told me that. You're
Yeah.
like, stop saying you're selling. That was another part. You're like, spicy, and you're not selling organization.
You're
You're
selling time. You are selling time for people to be able to open the drawer and all the silverware is organized or find the
Yes.
spice that they want. You are selling time.
80% of the people we're working for, they can do it if they really wanted to. But to go back to you asking like what things people can do at home, I feel like there are just certain rules and steps to make sure that you're not skipping. And the biggest one is giving yourself the appropriate amount of time to tackle a project in its entirety. If you're like, oh, I really want to tackle my kitchen, and you got through 2 drawers, that doesn't count, because something in drawer 4 or 5 may have been associated with that. And it's like you kind of keep starting over, or maybe even going backwards, versus, okay, you know what? Today is literally just kitchen. I have to make sense of all of this, because unless you're emptying the space completely and reconfiguring the layout, and some stuff, like, I'm sure we kept the same silverware drawer for you, and some things are just naturally where they're going to go. But I always say, with whatever space, start with the obvious, okay, trash can, this is the only place it can go, or silverware, or okay, here's a dishwasher, plates, this makes the most sense, cups. When you start with the obvious, and then you start moving based on your priority, okay, I need these items close, it all starts to fill in itself. Because at the very end, and the hardest to reach places, are the things that you're barely using.